Welcome everybody to Tasty Tuesdays. I'm Lorraine Hughes, your host, and tonight we have the very special Leanne Forrester from Sparkling Lotus Healing. Welcome, Leanne. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you very much for having me.
Yay! So let me introduce Leanne. She is a specialist in Seichim Reiki healing, sound healing, crystal healing, flower therapy healing, Pellowah Energy heal, and Pellowah Energy healing. Leanne creates aura sprays, which are created using essential oils, crystal energies, flower energies, and archangel energies, and are created on a new or a full moon. Bet you've had some pretty awesome ones lately. They are also charged with Pellowah and Reiki healing energies. The beautiful Leanne provides regular sound healing sessions at Breathe, Stretch, Float, and all around Adelaide and Australia. So there we go. There's a little rundown of our beautiful Leanne. Thank you for being here, my beautiful friend.
It's lovely to be here.
I'm just so excited for this particular chat here. Hey Joe. Happy Tuesday, tasty ones. Just off to the right hand side there, you should be able to click on the tab and it'll bring it up. We were too busy chatting. I forgot to mention that to you.
Hello, Joe.
Yay. Alrighty. So let's just get straight into it. So with all of that big, vast range of stuff that you do, like what started you on your spiritual journey?
My spiritual journey probably started more than 20 years ago. My mum introduced me to most of it. My first spiritual book. My mum actually battled cancer many, many times over a 15-year period. And I watched her meditate every day. I watched her do self-healing. She had Reiki sessions regularly to help her with the effects of chemo. So I got to see firsthand just how much it can do for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And within that, like you've dove into many different areas, and I'd love to know which one was sort of your first. So you had your Reiki, and was
Reiki was the first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was probably, I did my Reiki training about 5 years ago, but about 6 to 7 years ago, I left a corporate job that I'd had for 10 years, and I was at total burnout, mentally, physically. So I decided it was time to work on me, get my health back, and I was drawn to Reiki, and I was drawn to the Seichim, which is Egyptian based, and it was funny. When I was interested, something just popped up, and I was guided to that. And my original Reiki master was actually my Pellowah master, also.
Okay, so could you explain to us the difference between regular Reiki, Seichim Reiki?
It's where they come from. It's the lineage. So your regular Reiki is Asui, which is Japanese based. Seichim is Egyptian based. Mm-hmm. And how it was first channeled, there was a gentleman called Patrick Ziegler, and he was in Egypt, and he actually was in the king's chamber, and he hid in there overnight. Seriously, he hid while they closed it up, and he stayed in there overnight, and that was the first time that Seichim was channeled.
Wow! What a
out in the morning.
Can you imagine that the next day, just going, "Oh my goodness, I can't."
It got really cold, and he actually wrapped himself in toilet paper while he was in there to try and stay warm. So he would have looked like a mummy.
Can you imagine the workers when they opened up that door? They would have been so scared.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, Kim. She said she's been in the King's chamber. No toilet paper there, though.
Nothing of his own. Hey, Kim.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. And, what got you into your Pellowah energy healing? Like, can you explain a little bit more about Pellowah and what that is? Because I know many people won't know what that is.
No, I'd never heard of it either. When I was doing my Reiki training, our master was actually talking about Pellowah because he was a Pellowah master. Also, he's a registered doctor who now he's gone into the holistic side of it, and
Nice.
he was talking about Pellowah, and he used it more in his practice than Reiki. And we were all like, "Wow, that sounds really cool. Would you come back and teach us that?" So, what it actually the word Pellowah means radical shifting consciousness.
Okay.
And it's a hands-off healing technique, and it brings about unbelievable shifts, but in the most gentlest of ways, and it brings a lot of clarity and insight to the person that's receiving it.
Ooh.
And one thing that makes it very unique as well is the energy will flow to the person receiving it for 24 hours after the session.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. So that's something that makes it really, really unique. So, yeah, the energy will flow to you for 24 hours following your session. And it works more on your meridians in your body. And, the growth and the change that it brings about allows you to build on your old framework without the trauma.
Right. So I'm just going to take this back even just a small step further, because throughout my spiritual journey, and I've been around lots of different people who have done lots of different things, but they would mention this thing called meridians. And it wasn't till last year when I was doing my holistic counseling course that I actually learned what meridians are. So, but for those that are out there in the audience that are watching now or into the future, can you please explain what a meridian is, or what the meridians are?
Well, they are all through our body, and they actually carry our life force, or chi as they sometimes call it, as opposed to our chakras, which are energy centers that, well, we have them all through our body as well, but they are mainly down the center of our body.
Yeah. So along with that, the meridians is not just one line, it's many, many lines throughout the body.
Many lines throughout the body.
And the thing that I find really fascinating about it is that you can have somebody who's come in for one particular ailment, maybe they've got an upset stomach, and you can actually follow the meridians that run from there, and you'll find the blockages, like with just really light touch, and you'll find the blockages because they'll be a bit more tender.
Yes.
I'm going to say that. And you can actually massage them out yourself even. Amazing. But it's like there's all sorts of ones that run down your fingers. They come up and go around your ears. They go around the back of your head. They come through your eyes, all the way down through your groin, your legs, your arms. Like they run all over you. It's like a big, huge road map of energy lines.
Yeah.
And when I learned about them, I'm like, oh, wow. Now I can understand why people would say, is access bars like running on the meridians? And I'm like, no, but yes, but no.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting to have that bit further knowledge. So thank you for indulging me with sort of breaking that down a little bit. So what got you into your aura sprays? I'd love to know a little bit more about that.
Well, I was doing a course with my flower therapy teacher. I've done quite a lot of courses because he works with angels, which is something I love as well. And in one of my courses, he taught us how to make an aura spray. But there was one or two oils in that particular spray that were toxic for animals. So I did some research and I found something that I could substitute it with that would have the same effect, but it would be safe to use around your animals. So that's how I sort of came up with the first one. And pretty much through the pandemic, I came up with most of them.
When people require them the most.
Yeah, well, during when the pandemic hit, I like a lot of people lost my job, and so I had plenty of time at home, and it was sort of like, what is the most needed at the moment?
Yeah.
And the next ones I came up with were a protection spray, which is my Archangel Michael spray, and a calming spray, which I made for somebody very close to me that suffers from really severe anxiety.
Wow. Now, I'm going to indulge you, and I'm just going to just share a little something that we know about you. So could you tell us a little bit about the development of them and your nose?
Well, one thing that not a lot of people know about me is that I have no sense of smell. So I create these sprays totally by guidance because it's the only way I can create them.
Don't you just love that? They are truly intuitively created. I think that just makes them so incredibly special. To have somebody really truly, not just like from a recipe book or something, but or from the sense of smell, like we do when we're cooking and stuff like that. It's like, how does that smell? How does that taste? It's like you take out the sense of smell, which I think is probably quite handy in certain industries not to have a sense of smell.
Yeah. I haven't ever been able to smell them until last year. My smell actually came back for a little while after I'd been going to the salt cave.
Ah, yes. The Himalayan salt cave, a brief stretch float.
I got to smell them for the very first time ever.
Wow.
And it was pretty amazing. So I lost my crap, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you find that you could receive them differently because of the smell?
Yeah. I mean, I can feel the energy from them, but I could never smell the oils in them.
Mm-hmm.
So mine's gone again now.
Require some more sessions of breathe, stretch, float.
Yeah. I need to move in there.
I need to keep smelling my aura sprays. Jo does her sessions. Don't mind Leanne. She's a permanent fixture over there in the corner now.
I've tried hiding behind the chair, but he always knows I'm in there.
Damn it. Oh dear. So with all of your different things that we're setting up a group home in this. Okay. Love it. I might have to move in there next. All right. So with all of your different things that you've played with and different courses and interests and stuff, like for you, what does consciousness mean to you?
It can mean so many things, but to me it means being present. Being here in this moment right now, not living in the past, not fearing the future. It also means coming from a place of gratitude, coming from your heart space, being connected to the universe, source, whatever you want to call it. And probably, and most importantly, doing the work.
Yeah.
Doing the work on yourself.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely 100% agree with everything you just said. 100% agree. And the reason that and actually the part that I love the most is that last little bit of like that accountability of actually doing the work yourself. Like, you know, it's not just about talking the talk, it's about walking the walk. And
Absolutely.
yeah, if you're not prepared to walk the walk, then you know you have no real business. I'm not going to say you don't have a right, but you have no real business, you know, being a healer or counselor or a therapist or anything if you're not actually going to apply those same principles to yourself.
Yeah, and you know, us being a healer, like we're not perfect.
No.
We still have a lot of work to do as well, and we still continue to do that work.
Yep. So Jolly Onion coming back again.
Oh,
just when we think we're all good, pops another layer for us to deal with.
Well, I dealt with that. Okay, obviously there's still something coming up that needs to be healed.
Yeah. And I know that there's a lot of people at the moment and have been for the last month or so that have been riding the very, very big waves of healing at the minute. And it's tough out there. It's I feel for them.
Yeah, look, I get messages from some of my friends and it's like, are you feeling this shit today?
Yeah. Especially in the last week or so, you know, with our new moon, we had this solar eclipse, plus we gone into Mercury retrograde, all within about 3 or 4 days. It was just little like, oh, mate. But I certainly look at all of that as being not a negative. I actually look at it as turbo boosting ourselves into forwardness, you know, and I think that that's a beautiful thing. It's uncomfortable at times.
Oh, yeah. Anyone that thinks that like healing is all, you know, rainbows and unicorns and sitting on a yoga mat, it's not. It can be uncomfortable and it can be messy and it can be painful.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a really interesting moment yesterday while I was at work at my normal job, and you know, there's things that we can do when we talk as healers. We can talk to somebody's higher self. In fact, we always generally will talk with someone's higher self before doing anything. And I was with a client who struggles a lot with depression. And there was just a few different things that had come up, and I was just like, And I became aware, which is something that I'm, you know, very strong with, is I became aware of that she had a lot of entities and demons around her. And I was just like, okay, righty-ho, I think you fellas have had your fun. This is enough. You've sent her through the ringer long enough. Like, all right. So I just talked to her higher self while she was having a rest. And it was so funny because her higher self was, oh, yes, please get rid of them. I'm so done. And so her reactions while I was going through, I was just carrying on cleaning, you know, I just did what I needed to do. And was doing my entity and demon clearing at the same time. And oh my goodness, the big reactions, the howling and the wailing coming from her room. And I'm just like, oh love. Oh, okay, let's just breathe through this. She'll be all right. Because I knew what was going on consciously, but it was not a conversation I could have with her in a conscious, like this kind of way, because she'd just not understand what was going on. But the beautiful thing is that after I had finished, she took a big deep breath. And then everything that she had been saying before, the energetic charge of that had completely disappeared. And I was just like, this is awesome. And by the end of my time with her on that particular shift, she was pretty much settled to just regular normal, like just feeling calm and not feeling on the I can't train.
Yeah.
And I love that sort of stuff. That's the sort of gift that we can be as healers in a normal job. We get to do this special stuff off to the side that is just kind of like, it's just such a gift.
Yeah, it is. It is truly a gift.
Mm.
And we treat it as such as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel very honoured that I was able to do that for her, because I know how much she's been struggling lately. And it was just sort of like, yep, it was the right time.
Yeah.
So, yay. So with that in mind, like, what is your most tastiest moment in life so far?
In life. Okay, there's so many I could come up with. But I would have to say this is a tasty moment that happened just recently. I reconnected with an old friend, and when we last saw each other, I wasn't doing any of this work. And she's actually here. I'm here tonight. Hey, Kim. And I got to do a distant healing on her. And it was the first, it was actually the first healing I'd done after my Reiki Master's training. And it was amazing. And it was the most powerful thing that I've experienced, and maybe it was because of the connection that we have also. But to be able to share that with her, that was something pretty special.
Oh yeah, I'm just getting goosies all over with you talking about that. I'm not tapping into that energy at all.
No,
not at all. Hi, Sam. Good to see you in the chat there. She's come into us. She's like, that's awesome. What a gift, and yeah, it is a gift. Like what we do, whether we like, I prefer to work with people in a conscious state, that's for sure. Like being able to have this verbal conversation with them to say, hey, this is what's going to be happening. But, sometimes we just can't. And I think that, to be honest, I mean, some people go, oh, this is sort of a moral issue, something like that, or ethical, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I'm not looking for accolades. It's just, I wish to help. And I knew what I was doing for a start, but also I knew that she would be better off without all of those extra friends along for the ride, and she would just have a calmer, happier life without all of them.
Yeah.
So, and that to me is quite honest what I feel is my purpose, is to help people to have a calmer, happier life. So, and however I do that is however I do that. So,
because it comes from such a place of pure intention, we do it from a place of service.
Yeah. Absolutely. So along with that, like, what is the aim of your business, Sparkling Lotus Healing?
Look, I know it sounds corny, but it is to serve others, whether it be through my healing sessions, through my aura sprays, through my sound sessions. I want to shine my light so that others can see the way on their path. It's because everybody's journey is unique.
Amen.
It's a really special thing to be a part of it.
Yeah. I always feel very, very honored when somebody comes through for a session with me, no matter when, like what type of session it is, it doesn't matter. Like even in my Find You Fridays show, every time somebody actually pays for a reading, an extended reading or anything like that, I feel really honored to have, their spirit team steps in, and I'm communicating with these very learned people. Like these beings that are in the next dimensions or whatever. And that to me is just so special. And it's like, I just feel very honored and grateful to be able to do that with them, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is a privilege to do this work. And I think that's where you've got to come from as well.
Yeah, 100%. So how did you get into sound healing? I didn't cover that one.
Okay, well, after I left my corporate job and I was really, really unwell, both physically and mentally, I took myself on a trip to Bali, which is one of my favorite places. And I discovered a place that had just recently opened, it's called the Pyramids of Chi. And it's the most incredible sound healing center you can absolutely imagine. The couple that own it, they were in Bali on a holiday, and he had a vision that he had to build pyramids. And I think when he told his wife, she's like, "Say what?" What? They did. They built. They built originally 2, but now they've got 3 pyramids, and they've got every instrument you can imagine inside. Wow. And I went to a session there, and it was life-changing. The amount of releasing that I was able to do, the amount of things that I was able to let go of, both mentally, both physically, was incredible. And I kept going back again and again. And it was funny. I came back to Adelaide and I was like, I love this sound healing stuff. Like, I've got to find something here, someone who does it here. And I was guided to a sound bath, and the facilitator was absolutely amazing. And she had the most beautiful bowls, the most beautiful Tibetan singing bowls. And I remember saying to myself, one day I'm going to have a set of those. And guess where my singing bowls came from? It took me a few years, but I have a set of singing bowls. She actually imports them from Nepal.
Wow.
And they are the bowls that I use in my sound sessions, among other instruments, but they are also what I use every day.
That is amazing. I love that. What was your very first sound bowl or instrument for sound healing?
It would have been a Tibetan bowl, and it was a heart bowl.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. So each of the bowls I got, I have resonate with a particular chakra.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I love it. I love it all. I love it.
Yeah, I seriously, sound has done so much for me in my own healing, and to be able to do it myself now is absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. I was just trying to think, when was my first experience of sound healing as such? And it was actually, besides, just sitting listening to music or that sort of thing, but a specific actual healing of sorts was when I used to run Healing the Healer groups swaps. So it would be a bunch of us would get together, and whatever modality that you used, I didn't keep it specific to a certain modality, because I believe that you can create a lot more magic with multiple modalities coming together. And we had, on this particular one, we had everybody standing around in a circle, and then one of the participants or people of the group had their shamanic drum, and they drummed us down. And it was just because you're standing up, you've only got that one point of contact with the earth. And so the sound travels over, around, and through you. And it was just like, we're all standing there with their eyes closed and stuff. And it was just like, whoa. It was so good.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think that just triggered a thought in my head. I think I might ask Matt to do that after I've finished.
Well,
like,
that's
Matt,
what
can you drum me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other day when we had the solar eclipse and the new moon, like the energies were pretty intense. So I moved my coffee table out of the way and I set up all my instruments in the lounge room, and they stayed there for a few days.
Yeah.
And that's how I kept myself grounded during that crazy energetic time.
It so was. There was so much. Oh my goodness. So in your younger years, before you'd really started properly on your healing journey and you're seeing your mum and all of that sort of stuff, and like things were like starting to ramp up, but like it was possibly a little bit of a confusing time for you, like what top tip would you give to somebody just sort of in that first initial stages of that healing stuff? Like, what would you say?
I would say, first of all, you're not going crazy because sometimes awakenings can be pretty full on. I would say trust yourself and trust your guidance. Your guidance always comes from a place of love, from your heart space. And everything I've done, I've been guided to in one way or another. So, if you say somebody recommends that you read a book and then somebody else recommends the same book, that can be a sign that you need to actually get that book and give it a read. So, just, I think, trust yourself. You might be guided to a certain teacher or a certain group or a certain course or a certain class or a particular modality. Trust that and explore it, because you never know where you could end up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think back, oh gosh, I think back to, when I was first sort of started to dive into this very strange world that we live in now. And I'm not talking about out there world. I'm talking about the world within this room, in this environment. And I remember I was on a healing journey anyway, because I was recovering from my first marriage, which was with somebody who was a narcissist gaslighter and had borderline personality disorder. So that was a big healing journey of actually coming back and finding myself. And my journey started into the healing world actually through a really weird way of going, I really want to just go and do something outside of my work that is giving back to the community, like something or something to do with something voluntary, or I don't really mind. It could be in theater. It could be anything. I wonder what I would just really like to do something. I'm sitting there one morning on a Saturday morning, I think it was, having a cuppa and reading the local free rag that gets dropped off the local free paper, and in the little note and like in the adverts there was a thing saying 6 weeks free training given to people who wish to be volunteer telephone counselors for Lifeline. And I went, I like talking. It's free. I get training. I love training. Okay, I'll give that a go and see what we can do, because I knew that I'd had so many life experiences up until that point that could be useful. So I was just like, okay, I'll give that a go. And because I gave that a go and I did really well. I was there for nearly 2 years until some system changes, and then they moved it out from Hawke's Bay and moved our call centre up to Auckland and Wellington. But in that time, I met a couple of other ladies who were into law of attraction. And from there, it just sort of started blossoming from there. And I got introduced to Ina Segal's work. And then I was more and more into the, oracle cards and starting to play with them, because one of the ladies that I was with at the telephone counseling side of things, she was into oracle card readings. And that was sort of just where it kept going to from there. It was, and I used to go to these law of attraction meetings, and they would have different guest speakers come through and chat, and that's when I got introduced to EFT, and I got introduced to all sorts of different things and modalities, and it was great. So like you said, just try something new. Try something that you haven't tried before, and if you don't like it, that's okay. And it's quite funny, because now, even though that was, 15-ish years ago that was I was first sort of got introduced to EFT, I didn't do anything with EFT beyond that night. Tapping was just something that was just like, okay, whatever. And then just recently I've been reintroduced to it, and this particular version of it, I'm like, oh, this works for me now. Wow, this is really shifting some stuff. So again, I'm healing myself, but using a completely new, different modality to me.
Yeah. And you're using it when you're ready to use it too.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah, and most of the stuff that I've done, that I've studied, it's been for my own healing purposes. Yeah, that's why I started doing it.
I love that, because I'm the same.
And then it's just, one thing has led me to the next thing, and it's like, cool.
Yeah, it's almost like you master that thing for yourself, and then you're able to use that as it's like your own on-the-job training.
Yeah, and then you're able to share it with others.
Yeah, and help them move them through things. Like, there's so many things that I've done on my own, like literally nobody's been around me when I've worked through these things, that I've now been able to help other people move through. And it's just been so cool to actually assist them in moving forward, where I know what it's like to do that by yourself, and it's not fun.
Not fun. And that's the thing, as you raise your vibration more, you will attract more like-minded souls into 100%. Your life as well.
Yeah. And those ones that aren't resonating, they will just disappear.
They will just fall away. That's it.
Sometimes with a bit of fanfare on their way out. But many others, they'll just it's a very interesting thing, because I remember hearing that right back at 7 years ago, when I was sort of really diving into this journey properly. And because that's for many of us, it's what happens. We sort of start playing, we play, and then life. And this sort of
but I've had that a few times.
And then it's like, this stuff doesn't really ever go away. It just simmers underneath until it gets to a point where it's like, you can't ignore us anymore. We're just going to go bam. We're back. And we're going to show up as funny things like aches and pains and illnesses and stuff until you pay attention again.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like when people are going through big changes and shifts in their bodies, and I'm like, I heard this many years ago. I was like, cool, you're going through your next bio upgrade. Congratulations. And they're like, but I'm sick as a dog. No, you're going through a bio upgrade. Congratulations. Because that's what it can show up as sometimes. Yeah. It can seem like it's a cold or a flu, but when you think about it, nobody else has got a cold or a flu around you. So why have you suddenly magically got one? Yeah. Well, it's because it's not a cold or a flu. You're detoxing.
Yeah. And your body's just catching up.
Yeah. So cool. I love being able to reframe stuff into what it actually is, not this 3D world of thinking what it is. Oh, I absolutely love it. So what have you got coming up soon? What sort of events or ways?
My next event I've got coming up is on the 14th of May. And I am actually co-creating again with Joe from Boho Buddha. We're doing it at Breeze Stretch Float.
Mhm.
And it is going to be a day retreat, which is a sacred embrace retreat.
Thank you, Joe. I was going to ask you to do that.
Thank you, Joe.
She picked up on my little thoughts. I love it.
Thank you very much for that. So Joe and I co-created our first retreat together in February, and it was so wonderful. We thought we'd do another one.
Yay! I love that. I love that, Jude. She's all over it. She knows.
Yeah.
She knows. Oh dear. This is why I really loved being able to co-create with, you all. I know this is a bit of a different side, like a sideline thing over here, but it's like this here is exactly why I love creating with you all, because it's like we've all been doing that with each other. Like it's just sort of like one of us has this thought, but we can't necessarily get it to it. But it's like then the other person's already picked up that thought and taken it and done it and actioned it. It's like, sweet, thank you. It's been so good, so good.
Yeah.
And this is what I wish to see more of in this new world that we've all been co-creating together.
Yeah. Collaborations with other people are so much fun, and you can both bring your unique gifts and talents to the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's different things we both do, and this is going to be an amazing day.
Definitely. I love that. Love it.
So we're going to have everything from a sharing circle to a rose cacao ceremony and heart opening meditation. We're going to make our own cleansing kit, which everybody can take home. They're going to have a beautiful sound bath in the main yoga space at Breeze Stretch Float, and they'll also get a salt cave session as well. And lunch provided too.
Oh my God. Seriously, have you guys sold out yet? Because seriously, that's just huge.
Yeah, no, there's still some spots left. So it's running from 11 o'clock in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon. Cool.
And when does parking go funky, like stop not charging in the city?
Because it's Sunday, parking's free in the street.
Yay! I keep forgetting that because I don't like going into the city, but...
No, I mainly go into the city for the salt cave.
That is so, so good. All right. So let's just roll into our last, most tasty question before I let you go for the evening. If you could sit next to any person on a park bench for the afternoon and it was absolutely perfect weather and there was no bitey things trying to bite you and the sun wasn't streaming down on your face and making you feel sunburned, and there was just the tiniest little breeze and there was beautiful scents for those of us that could smell, and just the pretty butterflies and whatever else.
I see butterflies.
See? Who would you like to sit next to for the afternoon and why? And they can be alive or dead.
Okay, I would have to say it would be my mum. she's been gone coming up 19 years now. So, like, I know she's always with me, but to be able to sit there with her for an afternoon and actually be able to talk to her and hug her, and that would just be incredible. And to be able to talk to her about all the stuff I'm doing, because she would get it more than anyone.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, you just made my whole body just get all warm and tingly with all that love. Oh,
Oh, just to be able to talk to her and to be able to hear that she's proud of me for what I'm doing, would just, that would be the best gift ever.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh my goodness. And you got some love in the chat. Yeah. Aww. Yeah, so much love for you. I agree. Well, my darling, is there any other little fun, like little experiences that you've had in healing sessions that you'd like to share with us before we go?
I've had some amazing things happen in healing sessions. I've had funny, my mum has come through to other people, like when I've been doing a session for them. Right, Kim? But yeah, I mean, I don't talk a lot about my sessions because I like to keep them very private. For the person that's receiving. Just got the happy face. But I'd say, if I could say one thing that has really blown me away is, like last year I started going to the Salt Cave because I've heard about these things and I wanted to try it for my own health. And here I am now doing sun baths in there myself. Like, how cool is that?
That is so cool. What a great co-creation.
Yeah. The funny thing, you know how it came about? I was in there having a session one day and I came out and I said to the friend that was with me, I might have to sneak one of my singing bowls in here next time. And Jim turned around and said, no sneaking required, just bring it in. And so I did. And the resonance in there was just so amazing that I thought, yep, I could do some sound baths in here.
Yeah. Absolutely. Kim says, I can't wait to go to the Salt Cave.
Yeah, I can't wait too. She's in Queensland, so she'll have to catch a plane.
Now, not to take away from Breathe, Stretch, Float, because it is very, very nice. There is a beautiful salt cave up in Noosa, and it is like, it's actually in the shape of a cave, and it is just so amazing. And I remember when I was there, much like you got they have a Breathe, Stretch, Float, you got the chairs that lie down, like your zero gravity type ones, and I was like just absolutely blown away because that was my very first experience in a Himalayan salt cave, and I couldn't believe it, that it was, I felt so different, you know, when I walked out, and all I'd done is just lay there and breathe salt.
But it's incredible. Salt is a natural anti-inflammatory and antibacterial. So when I had COVID late last year, first thing I did once I could was go back into the cave, and that made such a difference.
100%. Yes, Salt Caves Mooloolaba. Thank you, darling. Yeah, a beautiful space, absolutely beautiful space. And I'm just so glad that we have something so similar here in Adelaide that we can play with and enjoy. And it's like, this is so super cool. How did we get so lucky down here in Adelaide?
I don't know, but I'm glad we are. And
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to be able to do my sound baths there. I'm grateful to be able to do retreats there.
Mm.
And yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Sam says, let's do a soul bath together.
Yes.
What are you doing on, what was it, May the 14th?
Yeah. You can come and have a special day with us.
Yeah, exactly.
I have got a couple of sound baths coming up, but they're actually sold out.
Darn it.
So I'm going to have to book some more dates.
Yes, you are. Alrighty, my love. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm so absolutely thrilled to be able to dive into your little special area of the world for, an hour and really enjoy bringing you to the Tasty community, Tasty Tuesdays community. So yes, of course, if anybody out there wishes to get in touch with Leanne, you can hunt her down through the social medias, through Sparkling Lotus Healing. And you're on Insta as well, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, Facebook and Insta.
Cool bananas. And yeah, so you can hunt her down that way, and all her things are in the show notes anyway, all her dates are in there. And she's just, you'll not regret choosing a session with Leanne, because she's just so blinking special. And she's what I call, she's a secret little healing ninja.
I like that.
Like you sort of don't expect what you're gonna get, and then she just gets in there and cha, gotcha, with a big, huge, beautiful, light smile, and just like you, she's with the flowers. It's awesome.
Oh yeah,
here's some aura sprays for you too. Make you feel good.
You will often find me frolicking amongst the flowers.
Mm-hmm. And I love that. Yeah.
We were talking about him.
She is a sparkling lotus. I agree. You're not wrong. That was a perfect name for you and for your business. Alrighty, my lovely. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So until next time, everybody, be bold, be brave, be you. Get out there, do something tasty for yourself. If you're watching this over on YouTube, please like, subscribe, do all the doo-doos. And, oh no, maybe not the doo-doos. Do all the things. See, this is what she does to me. She makes me say really crazy things. It's awesome. She just makes me so happy.
Well, then my job is done.
I know. Alrighty, everybody. Get out there. Be bold. Be brave. Be you. Do something tasty. Do all the things. I love you. I'll see you next time. Maybe on Find You Fridays at 8 p.m. or back here next week on Tasty Tuesdays, when we will have our next guest is Daphne Demboa. She's from the Mood Lifter, but we're actually going to be talking about pregnancy loss. So that's going to be a bit of an interesting topic. I'm sort of having a bit of a special month around pregnancy loss so that we can have a bit of a highlight on that very tender, touching topic outside of the big month that happens in October around that, because I've got other stuff planned for October. So, till next time, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.